Kulturan radio u emisiji Razlog za razgovor donosi epizodu NEmagični razgovor s cirkuskom grupom Laika. Francuska cirkuska grupa Laika vjerojatno je poznata dijelu zagrebačkih ljubitelja cirkuske umjetnosti koji se sjećaju njihove izvedbe u nastajanju Pogonu Jedinstvo, koju su izveli 2010. godine u Pogonu Jedinstvo. Tada s ovim umjetničkim projektom postaju i laureati Jeunes Talents Cirque Europe. U Zagreb i općenito regiju vraćaju se još u nekoliko navrata, obično kao Side Kunst Cirque, no s prepoznatljivim izvedbenim izričajem, licima i suradnicima koji se teško zaboravljaju, kako zbog upečatljivosti i vrhunske cirkuske tehnike, tako i pristupa kreacijama u kojima nemoguće pretvaraju u crnohumornu stvarnost i ostavljaju nas s upitnikom kako im je ovo palo na pamet. Upravo je takva i predstava NEmagični, koja je 10. travnja otvorila sezonu u Cirko Balkana šatoru. Predstavu izvode 3 cirkuske umjetnice, Philine Dahlman, i Emisija Razlog, koje su 2 dana prije izvedbe također vodile edukaciju za lokalne umjetnice i umjetnike pod nazivom No Workshop. U nadi da nećemo dobiti jedan veliki no, zamolili smo umjetnice za jedan yes razgovor o no principu, točnije o samoj predstavi, njenom stvaranju, značenju NEmagička, njihovoj međusobnoj suradnji i ponekom ponaosob detalju.
My name is Philine. I am a circus artist, I guess. And I am an acrobat and musician. And we came here with our show, NEmagični. It's a show of the company Laika, which I founded 15 years ago with my friends.
And I'm Julie. I'm originally a contortionist, and now maybe would say I'm a little bit more diverse circus artist.
Yeah, and I'm Elise, the third. I'm a circus artist as well, and comes from contortion and trapeze, and works within experimental and performative.
It's a company, like a circus company that you can say, but we like to play with, extreme forms of art somehow, and try to introduce the circus aspect of our company in some experimental theatrical context.
You have been here already in Zagreb?
Yes, several times. We came here 15 years ago, I think, with Popcorn Machine, our first show, which was a theater show, and it was playing in theaters. And we came here to give workshops and to play the show. And then 5 years later, we bought a circus tent, and we came back here to Zagreb and also to Belgrade. With the tent, played another show. And then over the years we have different shows with the company, and then we came back 5 years ago with Laika with another show, and we played it in your tent.
Well, it was born quite long ago when we met, maybe like 8 years ago, and we had a sort of first impulse, one shot, where we performed something of this sort, and we took it back up a couple years ago. When we decided to take it back up and take it a bit seriously and try to actually tour it.
And that was because we had so much fun doing it before. Like it was the most fun of all
the things
the
we
shows
ever
that we
done.
ever done. So we said we have to continue to do this.
We have to make it serious.
Yeah, because
Have the
speaking
fun.
of experimental, of course, my Laika was always experimental, but I guess this was a color that my Laika had never really gone so deeply into. It has, the original idea came from like soundscaping, sound effects, and a lot of irony, I would say. How else could we describe No Magic?
I mean, it's a series of experiments and ideas that has been allowed to develop freely without judgment.
Without any judgment.
Without any judgment.
Yeah, I guess what most people tell us when they see it is something like this, like there's a sort of freedom of doing whatever we want, and we clearly are having so much fun with this whatever well, it's not nonsense, but a sort of unexpected, eclectic series of events that then the audience also, it's a bit contagious, I think.
So does it mean that you improvise inside of the show, or do you have
No, not so much. It's all pretty much written, like we know what we do in every moment. But for me personally, it's a show where I go on stage and I have a big tension in myself, and I never lose it. It's never a moment where I say, and how do I act now? Or it's all very clear. Like I have to do this, and I have to jump in these boxes now, and I have to destroy this and that. And it's really easy for me to play because you're in it all the way through. Because
yeah, there's quite a bit of catharsis moments.
Yeah.
Like high energy catharsis, but also different styles of intensity, I think.
It's like, like one knows exactly what to do. You just don't know how it's gonna go.
yeah, because the things that we do, they can go any places. They can like explode in some weird directions we never,
Or not at all.
or not at all,
Or flop, yeah.
or flop, and then it's also funny.
Did you ever have any accident during the show or something like this?
Yes.
Because you have so many props on the stage, actually, and I didn't see the show, but Nicola told me that it's quite edgy, actually.
Edgy is a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had accidents. Luckily, nothing serious and very dangerous. But one time, I remember, I turned to Philine. Spoiler alert: we use ketchup in the show, and I turned to Philine and I see her face with some red, and I thought, but the ketchup is later. I didn't open the ketchup. What's happening? And then I understood she's bleeding, and it was fine. There was nothing dramatic, but it was, a bit of blood on her face, and it was one of these accidents that can happen because we use these props that have their own way of expressing themselves too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also some people call it a stunt show because we do a lot of stunts, and then it's kind of it's dangerous somehow. We try to control, of course, but then there's things that can happen.
Because there actually is sort of a philosophy behind the No Magic name. It's that actually we don't fool you. There is nothing like
There's no fake.
There's no fake.
Everything is true.
That's why it works. That's the only way it can work. And if it becomes easy, then this show doesn't make any sense anymore. So there is something a bit rude about the impacts on the ground. Like even if we did do a cascade, a stunt workshop with Philine to learn how to fall, but actually we decided it doesn't make sense for this show.
Because we don't have to pretend we are falling. We are falling.
Have to
we
fall.
have to fall because otherwise it doesn't.
It has to be a real fall.
And the most emblematic example is, I think, the ketchup, because we use ketchup in order to make the image of blood, but you see the bottle and you see her squeezing it on us, like, and it's all in this idea of like no magic behind it. It's all true.
And of course, our manager one time was like, "But can we put just some red coloring? It would be much less sticky. It would be much easier to clean." And we said, "Yeah, but."
Yes, but no.
But then it won't be no magic.
And how does audience actually react?
Surprisingly, very enthusiast. We were very surprised.
Yeah.
First times.
Yeah, we were, in the beginning, we thought it was like a joke for us, and we had so much fun that we say, okay, we have to do it. But then also public started to enjoy it very much. Like, people were saying, I want to participate. I want to do this shit
they
with
want
you.
to come on stage. We said, okay, one day, maybe our last time or something, we have to invite more people to join.
And then also, surprisingly, we had the feeling it's like more like a night show and like for drunk people maybe, so they can enjoy. But then also we had like old ladies coming up to us and saying, it's a feminist show. I really love what you do, because, okay, we don't want to spoil anything, but there's some elements where every housewife can really relate to, I think.
Any woman, I think.
Woman, or maybe also housemen.
What a houseman.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, we actually had some people coming back to the show. If we were in a festival a few days performing the same show, they would come back. And so it's quite touching to see, like, okay.
Of course, we had also some reactions that were more repulsing because it's a big chaos, and we are also, I don't know, we are wasting food. We are jumping on chips. And then we say, okay, we can give it to the chicken, but then we never do it because there's no chicken around normally.
There's the dogs. Here there's the dogs.
There's the dogs.
Tomorrow we will leave the dogs inside.
So they will clean.
So they can clean.
But it's an issue, this wasting thing. For us, it's clearly also like, if you want, somehow a critique of capitalism. And there's a lot of elements that refer to that, but people can also misunderstand and say, yeah, but you're doing whatever, and they don't get the message.
Yes.
And they are just thinking we are wasting food because we are having fun. But for us, it's also a clear message to say, okay,
this is consumerism. That's a constant everywhere. Like.
And during the creation process, did you have somebody who is watching you, or did you direct yourself all the time? How was it?
It was really between us.
It was a not a very classic creation process. It was very fast. We said like, yeah, let's do this and that and this and that, and everybody was like, yes,
it was like 3 days.
Nice.
And then at one point we had the feeling that it had to be like longer and in another frame or something, and then we gave it the frame, and then we wanted to have a musical moment, and we have a musical moment, but there was never any like, okay, we go and study.
No, and I also think we didn't decide that it's finished. Usually in a creation process, there's a beginning and an end. And with this one, it just kind of began, and we started sharing it, and it continued. And I think it's going to continue to develop. When we keep finding little gadgets that we like, we put it in.
Did you do it already? Did you actually, during the performances, you already performed, add some things on the way?
But we decided before.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Not during performance, but we've like been in town and then we've seen magnificent objects and then added it to the show.
Yeah, or small details that can happen, like in the show, that can happen. Where you find out that something silly actually can become much longer than what you thought. Or
we
in
had
relationships also.
We had some accidents that we resolved in some way, and then decided, okay, that's actually much better this way.
And at least for you, you are actually aerialist. No?
Yeah, originally, yes.
Yeah. And how is it actually to play the show on the ground?
It's fun. It's very chill to not bring the aerials and not to rig it in the air. I think it's something very liberating. But I also do contortion, so I've also play in shows where I'm not in the air. But I mean, it's nice to do aerials, but you're always up there doing nice things. And then when you're on the ground, you can play around, and you have so much more freedom to move and relate to others in a more free way, which I like.
So, plans? Do you have many plans for the future, or you still don't know, actually?
Like shows.
Yes.
Yeah, we go to Split. We go to Copenhagen. We go to Serbia, Belgrade.
There's a couple of ideas on the way, but not confirmed yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, the idea is to tour it as much as possible because it's so much fun.
When somebody wants it, then we can come if we are free.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yes, you hold a workshop here.
Yes.
And how was it for you with the local artists?
It was great. It was short.
Yeah, it
We
was
would,
short.
would have liked to have more time, I think. But we tried to put most possible information in this short
in
time.
2 days. That was really nice to see. It was very evident the first moment when everyone's a bit shy and a bit locked in their ways, and very quickly it became a chaos, but in a really good way of sharing. Very generous. Very generous.
Yes,
Very good
Very open-minded.
open.
Nice meeting.
Open to receive information and apply.
Apply here.
Slušali ste epizodu NEmagični razgovor s cirkuskom grupom Laika u emisiji Razlog za razgovor Kulturnog radija. Razgovor vodila, uvod i odjavu pročitala Jadranka Žinić-Mijatović. Snimio, tonski obradio i uredio Ratko Bokić. Kulturan radio. Cirkorama.